Hey, I want to make a really short video about masking. So just to explain the basic of the principles and some of the solutions that could help. And what masking is where we have two sounds and one is masking the other. The one that we want to hear, we can't because another sound is playing probably in the same frequency range and masking that sound, disabling us to hear it properly. So how we can solve that issue is maybe, first of all, and that's the first solution, is arrangement. When you're arranging a song, when you're producing a song, most of the solutions to nice sounding production starts from there. So it starts from the arrangement and which elements you actually place together. If you don't put too many conflicting elements playing at the same time, you're going to have a much easier job of mixing that song. Now, that is not to say that your decisions are going to be led by the production, how these two elements, are clashing, we can't put them together. Sometimes creativity is, king, and it should be, but also on account of producing music, good producers are always going to search for a solution if such a thing happens. So if there is a clash, if there is too many elements playing in the same space, you as a producer producing the song should recognize that and maybe relieve the song of some of those elements, making it easier to be mixed. So that's the first thing that can help masking effects. Second would be that we can use an equalizer to just lower the part of the frequency spectrum on the element that's masking the one we want to hear. So let's say we had a vocal like we have right here, and that vocal is being masked by some of the elements. We could use an EQ on those elements. So I'm just going to play the elements for you first. So these are all the elements that exist, and here we have the vocal. So in case that these are masking our vocal, we could use an EQ, and even better today we have this Pro Q4, which can show us both of the EQs, the one on the melodies and the vocal, and it can show us what is being masked. So when I play it, you see it's going to show us that this is the part where the melodies are masking the vocal, like this. So this one is not enabled, but you can see, yeah, this is where it's being masked. So I can use an EQ to lower that part of the spectrum on the elements that are masking our vocal, making it easier for the vocal to, pass through. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily this is the right move in this case, but it's one of the solutions. Knowing more than one solution is going to help you to find which one works the best. Now, this kind of a solution is not only used when you have a vocal and some synths or guitars on top of it. This is used in production everywhere. So we are usually using this to, let's say, relieve many of the elements of low frequencies, or relieving, let's say, hi-hats of the low frequencies, or leaving some other elements of mid frequencies where the vocal is. So this kind of mixing procedure where we're using an equalizer to rid some of the frequencies we don't really need from a sound is mainly for the purpose of everything being able to play together. So that's also one of the solutions for masking. Now, another one that we can also use is ducking. And you can hear that predominantly today in dance music, where the kick drum is ducking the bass line. And you hear that as pumping, and usually that was done with a compressor. Now, today, you have all those effects that are like LFO tool and duck. And a lot of these effects are just an automatic tremolo, like a volume automation that is synced with your DAW. This was originally done by using a compressor. So I could, let me just disable this EQ right here. So what we could have done is we could have used the compressor with a sidechain on it. That would mean that this compressor compressing all of these melodics that are, masking our vocal, the compressor is receiving the vocal as a trigger. So whenever the vocal is present, all of these melodics, all of these other elements that are masking it are being pushed down in volume. So that's another solution that we could use, just like this. Let's try to set it up just to portray it a tiny bit. Like this. And of course, we'd never do it so drastically, just a tiny bit like this. We could use the vocal to push all these other elements or just a specific element or a group of elements that's masking it down in volume by, let's say, 1, 2, 5 dBs, whatever you feel necessary and sounding good. And this was, I think, originally done to push down the guitars when the vocal would be singing, or push down the rhythm guitars when the lead guitar would play. Anything like this that would just make it easier for the main element that we want to grab the attention of the listener actually pass through the mix. And you could use these two in conjunction. You could use a good arrangement where elements are not placed in such a way that it's like 5 things playing in the same space of their song. You could use the EQ to help that masking, unmasking, and you could as well, at the same time, also use this ducking compression, where a specific element that's supposed to be heard is pushing down some of the other elements that are not as important, not to be in focus when this one is present. Now, all of those are valid. You could combine all of those together, where each one is applied a tiny bit and therefore being more transparent in production. Now, this last kind of treatment is actually kind of the first two combined together. So the Spectral Dynamics plugins, like Melda Spectral Dynamics or Soothe, the way they're actually envisioned too is that we could use them to adjust the spectral balance of one element by using the other one as sidechain, meaning that I could, on this plugin, let's say like this, use the vocal as the sidechain input. Make sure that here the detector is set to sidechain. And then whenever the vocal appears, vocal is going to be pushing down on all of these other elements, but in a specific frequency range. So wherever the vocal is present, that's where the vocal is going to be pushing down on these elements, and not everywhere. Because when we used the compressor just before, it was just lowering the volume of the entire signal. Now this is going to be lowering the volume of the signal in specific places of the spectrum where vocal is actually present, and it won't touch the rest of it. So let me make this faster. Let's listen to this alone. So you see, wherever the vocal is, that's where these are being pressed down. You can see that this is the actual spectrum of the vocal. So wherever the vocal is present, it's pushing down on these elements. And now we can also adjust that by drawing in the threshold and saying, okay, I want to decide to, press down more in the mids, less in the lows, because this is where the intelligibility of the vocal is. And we could decide to, potentially press down and reduce the volume of that part of the spectrum more, because that's where we want the vocal to, shine and punch through the mix. So basically, this is kind of combining the EQ method and the dynamics method at the same time. A good thing about this is that you could have used dynamic EQ to achieve this, specific thing, similar thing. But a good thing about this Spectral Dynamics is that it's actually going to react to the signal of that vocal, and wherever the vocal actually is in the spectrum, that's where it's going to push down on the other elements that are masking it, potentially unmasking it really effectively without touching the rest of that signal, making it, in the end, hopefully more transparent as an effect. These are just some of the ways that you can use to unmask a signal in your mix. These are just solutions, some of the solutions, just the basic ones. And all of these solutions, to just know them, to learn them, that's just a small part of the whole game. The most important part of this entire story is that you are able to recognize what's wrong. If you can't recognize what's wrong, none of the solutions are going to help, because you don't know what you need to fix. So to actually be able to recognize what the problem is, you need to practice. And to practice, you need to learn the theory. So to learn the theory about music production and audio engineering, just head on over to mixingacademy.com. I have a course there that's 40 plus hours long, and it's completely free thanks to 11.org. See you in the next video. Bye.